Hello and welcome to the Three Brothers Grimm. I'm Tim Grimm, and today we're going to be playing Diablo 2. Now, I have tried to record this in the past, and, well, I did get at least one episode out. Me and my team decided to do a clean wipe of our channel, so I'm going to try bringing it back for you guys. So, first thing we need to do is we need to select our character. We have quite a number of characters on here that we were going to do, but we're going to recreate our Tim Grimm Necromancer. And delete the character. Yes. Create a new character. Necromancer. And of course you guys know I'm going to be going with Tim Grimm, of course. We're not going to do hardcore though. Not well enough. I'm not good enough at this game to actually go for hardcore. But we're going to do great. So, for those of you who don't actually know what this game is, it's actually a continuation of Diablo 1 made by Blizzard. Now, in Diablo 1, the idea of the game was basically you were going to go down to the catacombs of this monastery that was in town. And Diablo had taken control of the prince of that particular area known as Tristram. Well, seeing as how you, the hero, went down there and killed Diablo, you tried to figure out a way to hold Diablo back. Well, being an idiot that your character was, and the fact that Diablo had kind of taken control of your mind, you decide to plunge his soul stone directly into your forehead. Now, imagine this. If you had the strongest character in the game, like strongest possible, highest level, highest possible resistances and everything, which I did actually have for one of my, when I finally beat Diablo 1, I had max everything for resistances. Imagine facing that in Diablo. Now, granted, being Diablo has its downsides, which is good for our character this time around. However, if it was in that particular fashion, I know we'd be dead in a millisecond. So, we keep getting talked to by this Warrior guy. Let's see what he has to say.
Greetings, stranger. I'm not surprised to see your kind here. Many adventurers have traveled this way since the recent troubles began.
Okay.
Yes,
and I just told you guys about Tristram, so hopefully that clears up a little things.
I don't know if I believe that, but a dark wanderer did travel this route a few weeks ago. He was headed east to the mountain pass guarded by the rogue monastery. Maybe it's nothing, but evil seems to have trailed in his wake. You see, shortly after the wanderer went through, the monastery's gates to the pass were closed. Strange creatures began ravaging the countryside.
Creatures?
Until it's safer outside the camp and the gates are reopened, I'll remain
He
here
must
with my
mean
caravan.
demons.
I hope to leave for Luther Lane before the shadow that fell over Tristram consumes us all. If you're still alive then, I'll take you along. You should talk to a
Ooh, excuse me.
She seems to be the leader of this camp. Maybe she can tell you more.
You have a text message!
Sorry about that. Okay, so now basically we've talked to Warrior here. I'm going to explain a little bit about how the controls work. First thing, for all beginner gamers, I recommend pressing the tab button. This brings up the basically information, what version you're on, you know, if you're playing expansion or regular, and if you're playing hardcore. And of course, it also gives you your minimap, which is kind of an overlay of the whole thing. Now, down here you have your character, which you can open up with hotkeys A and C. This gives you all of your stats, basically your strength, as you can plainly see right here, strength, dexterity, vitality, energy, and all of the other things that would basically deal in with, you know, your character's stats in general. Now, the next one we have is our inventory, which can be opened up with I or B, as you guys can plainly see. This basically gives you a whole rundown of, you know, what your character is carrying right now. Now, you can run out of space, as you can plainly see, which means you'll have to be going back to town quite often. So the only things that we have right now, we have a scroll of identity, the scroll of town portal, and a wand. Now, you are able to press W to swap weapons once you have multiples. So which means you can switch to, as we see right now, basically nothing. But for right now, all we have is our wand and our scrolls. So, not much in the department right now. Here's our skill tree. Skill tree basically is, as you would kind of assume, it's all of your skills over what level you can possibly get them at. So we have, at the first level, we can get amplified damage, once we level up for our first time, of course. We can get any of the first level things after we level up the very first time. So, amplified damage is one we can get. Teeth or bone armor is one we can get. And raised skeleton and skeleton mastery. Now, the wand that we come in with, straight at the very beginning of the game, gives us a +1 to summon skeleton. So, at this point in the very beginning of the game, it's actually best to keep this wand. I would not recommend changing it until you either have more points put into skeletons or you find another weapon that can possibly do a +1 to it. So keep the wand for the first, maybe a couple of missions, and then you can move on from that. After this, of course, we have the auto map, which I suggested to you is pressing tab, which I would definitely recommend for beginners of this game and for seasoned players, because it does help you move around, because every single time that this game is played, the map is, at least in some general aspects, is slightly randomized. So you get random items, you get random orientations of where the town opens up and whatnot. Next we have is the message log. Now this is mostly just for, actually this is particularly for seeing what has killed you, and also chat if you were playing in multiplayer. Now, I don't believe the Diablo 2 servers are really open anymore, seeing as how this is a game that was made in, oh gosh, what was it, 1995, which was the year I was born. So, yeah, this game is almost 22 years old. Crazy. The next one you have is your quest log. Now, right now, we don't have any quests. We need to try to talk to Akara for this. So, we can do that in just a moment. Last one here is the game menu, which you can use just by pressing escape. This allows you to save and exit the game, resume game, or change our options. Really, right now, we don't need to worry about that. As for the rest of these items down here, it's pretty self-explanatory. You have your normal attack. This allows you to add new stats. There's 2 of them, actually, for new stats and new skills. Your stamina bar, your experience bar, and your belt for potions, mostly just potions. I think you can use some scrolls in here, but it's not something that I tend to use very often. So, hey guys, I've been talking enough right now. Let's get on with playing Diablo.
I am Akara.
All
I
right.
am priestess of the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. Traveler to our camp, but I'm afraid I can offer you but
I'm gonna check something real quick.
Hey guys, Tim Grimm here. I'm just letting you guys know that while I was going through the video, I noticed that the sound coming from the game itself was really low, and that was because it was actually coming through my computer speakers itself and not actually being recorded with my editor. So I'm sorry that we haven't been able to get a lot of good quality of voice from the game itself, so I hope you guys can forgive that and enjoy the video.
We will help you, Akara.
And we will pledge our loyalty to you for all time. There is a place of great evil in the wilderness.
Here's our first mission.
And inform me that a cave nearby is filled with shadowy creatures and horrors from beyond the grave. I fear that these creatures are massing for an attack against our encampment. If you are sincere about that, find the Dark Labyrinth and destroy the foul beasts. The Great Eye watch over you.
Okay, so we have our very first mission now, which is find the Dark Labyrinth, or, as it's called, the Den of Evil. So, that's our first mission. We'll start heading over to there. I hope you guys can excuse me. I was talking to my fiance on the phone right there. So, don't expect too many texts, but expect maybe 2 or 3. So, yeah, sorry about that. Now let's see how we get out of here. Okay, this looks pretty normal here. Now a lot of the times the opening can be right here, or it can be open right here. I've rarely ever seen it open up here, but it can open up on any of the 4 sides, and it's always different every single time. So, yeah. Another thing I should probably explain right before we start getting going is the inventory of your stash. The private stash here allows you to amass gold, where this current version of Diablo 2 allows for massive amounts of gold. I mean, you will stockpile a lot of gold, and you'll stockpile a lot of items over time as well. Now, a lot of the items you find just lying around the ground are not very good, but there are some that are absolutely amazing and like game-changing items. So be sure to look for items that are unidentifiable, or, you know, just all around, like, you don't know what it is, or you think it could be very useful later on in the game. Now, this, for the beginning area, obviously is not going to be, like, massively great items, so you will eventually get rid of some of these items later on. Now, however, there are some missions later on that will give you specialty items that you may not ever want to get rid of. Now, if that's the case, you know, keep them. Keep them, like, just in case, like, you have an item that, like, doesn't... Say you have, like, an item where the durability just drops to complete 0. It, like, almost completely busts. You can't use it anymore. Well, then you have a secondary thing you can probably put in your secondary weapon slot that you can use. So this is another good reason as to why, you know, you can have your swapped weapons. It's also great for range attacks, because majority of characters, they're not ranged dealers. So and you're able to, but you are able to get bows in this game. So having that be able, if you want to do like a melee and range type character, you can very well do that. So I think that's enough explaining. Let's go on that mission. Quill rats. These are the very first enemy that you're probably ever going to face. Okay. And they're pretty easy. Getting your experience just a little bit. 2 of them even gave me 42 experience. Now here's another thing. When you are searching around in the game, sometimes it's going to be harder to pick items up. So what you have to do is you have to press Alt. What that'll do is it'll bring up the clickable icons here. It allows you to find items a little bit easier and pick up items. Of course, it will force, if you are pressing Alt, it specifically looks for items. So you won't be able to lock onto a character that you're about to fight. Excuse me. So, that's one downside to it, but it's meant for a particular reason. Zombies are also very easy. Yeah, just about, I believe you get just about as much experience from them as you would quill rats. I can probably double check that. Went from 42 to 108. So, yeah, it's close. Maybe a little bit more than quill rats, but not by a whole bunch. Oh, and of course the skills. Can't forget about the skills. Now, obviously, because these are on the left and on the right, they orient, of course, what's going to happen if you press that particular button. For example, if you're pressing the left, that's going to do a normal attack or move you around. If you do a right click, that'll use your spells. And that summoned a skeleton for me from the nearby corpse. So, awesome! I now have a skeleton that's going to fight alongside me. That's absolutely wonderful. Now we can go around, we can start killing some crap. Now, the reason why I was trying to check the skeleton is because in later portions of the game, there are some random skeletons that are out and about that you can't actually check for items. So, that's always good to look around. Very nice. Die. Die, Fallen. Yes. These little buggers are called Fallen. They are basically of a demon class. They're very weak, and, you know, they're just weak. Very easy to get through. Now, like I was saying, as well as, like, dead bodies laying around, you'll also find boulders that, like this, are called either secret stashes or just loose boulders. Be sure to click on those a lot of the time, because you'll get items from there, too. Shrines. Here's another good thing to talk about. So shrines will give you multiple things. There are some for gathering gems, there are some for, obviously, skills for this one, resisting from fire, cold, or lightning damage. They can give you pretty much just about any kind of buff. They will never give you any debuffs. Unless, of course, it is a poison shrine, but what that'll do is it'll create a ring of poison around the shrine itself and spit out potions of poison, which you can use. They're throwing potions, basically, so they'll poison anything that it's being thrown at. We're just going to do a quick skill shrine, and we'll move on. Oh, hang on, is this? Wow, that was really short. I half expected it to be, like, way out there, but no, it's right here.
I sense death within this place.
Well, I should assume so. It's a den of evil. They kill everything that comes in here. Oh, short bow. That is not a bad thing to have. There are also times where nothing will come out of the body, so definitely expect that. Oh, jeez. Oh, a ring! Rings can also give you buffs, which is awesome that I actually just found one. I was not expecting this. Like I said, though, it is always randomized. So what you want to do is when you get an item that is unidentified, you want to right-click on your scroll of identity and use it on this ring. Glimmer Ring. A +1 to light rays. Not a very good thing as of right now. I mean, it'll help, but it's not too important. Oh. And your skeleton also gains experience for you. So that's obviously a great thing to do. Now, because we're doing this at a kind of a beginner's level, we're going to put 1 to everything. And we probably want some more defense. So let's get some bone armor this time. Now that only needs to be placed on once. You can just click on this, you can change the spell you're going to use. We're just going to switch that back to the skeleton because honestly, the skeleton looks fine right now, but you know, their health can go down pretty darn fast. Oh. You will eventually come across items like this called shamans. What they allow, basically, they res the demon of their particular type. So, always best to kill them. Because otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's a great way to gain more and more experience because it's constantly resing, but it can get very annoying at times and make the mission take a lot longer. So, you know, try to destroy those as quickly as possible. But of course, that's entirely up to you. Two shamans. Oh! Oh, come on! Hit it! Hit him! Oh. Okay. Whew. Oh my. So we've got a lot of stuff to pick up now. And now we are completely overburdened. Which is not a good thing. But we can check to see what we have. Really quick while our skeleton fights off some creatures. Okay, so from the looks of it, we have a club, which we probably don't want, especially for a necromancer. A short bow, some throwing knives, another short bow, some bolts, a cap, which is actually lower quality than the one we already have on, which when you pick up items that can be used and you're first starting off, it'll automatically pick up. Ooh. Okay, let's just get rid of this gargantuan beast really quick. Okay. So, we also have another scroll of identity now that we've picked up. So, let's use that right off the bat. A ring of light. That's a glimmering ring. We have a ring of light. So, oh, a plus 10 to attack rating. This is really good. In fact, this is actually better than the one we already have. So, if we were to get another ring, and it did not have a light radius thing on it, I would definitely replace this one. So let's just put that on for now. Move some of these items around so we can pick up more. And we'll go searching. Oh, hold up. Charm. Oh, charms are amazing. Charms will give you buffs, but of course you have to identify them first. And as of right now, we can't identify it. So, what we could do is we could go back to Akara, who actually does sell scrolls of identity. Now, there is a character later on in the game. I'm sure you guys may have heard of him, especially if you've played Diablo 1 or even Diablo 3. His name is Deckard Cain. And in this game, he will identify all your items for you for free. In the first game, you actually had to pay him to identify items, but in the second game, you actually save his life. And this is a mission that will come later on in the first act. So you guys will definitely see me going through that. So, it's honestly a win-win, but until you actually get him, I would recommend stockpiling some scrolls of identity. So, let's also check our stash, too. Oh! Oh, I didn't even know I picked that up. A plus 16 enhanced defense and increased maximum durability. Very nice, especially for a first weapon. We're going to put a short bow in here, therefore to gather a little bit more room. Also, I know there's some arrows around here somewhere that we can use, and we can put that directly into there. But until such a time, let's stick with the skeleton, because the wand is what's giving us our skeleton right now. We will obviously switch that out later, but until such a time, there are the arrows. It's always a good idea to do that. Yeah, I need to stop doing that. Alright. Now basically the mission right now is to just try and find every single monster that's in here and kill it. Oh boy. Oh. One thing to say about sashes and belts. They increase the size of your belt. So basically the amount of items you can actually carry. Okay. Oh boy, I need to get out of there. Oh, and my helm's already busted. Oh boy. Jesus. Alright. No. No. I like to go for my summoning spells, So we're going to add one more to the raised skeleton. This also gives it so that if we do end up, having to switch to the arrow due to our wand being broken, we'll still at least have one skeleton. Okay. Oh boy. Now, believe me when I say this, guys, at first the game seems, relatively easy. But it will get harder. A lot harder. I have actually never personally beaten this game with you guys. I have never actually beaten this game at all. So the likelihood of I may actually end up beating this game with you guys, which if we end up doing that, I'd be absolutely overjoyed. So, hey, if you guys like this series and want me to continue, please tell me to do more. I will do more for you guys. So, we're obviously out of room. This quilted armor is pretty much screaming for me to pick it up. Let's go back to a car. All we need to do is just right-click on the town portal and go back to the road encampment. No enemies can go through this portal. You are the only one who's able to go through it. So, awesome. That's another thing that's really nice about this game is the fact that when you do go to particular characters, the healers in your particular act, they will heal up your health and your mana to completely full. Therefore, when you get back in there, you're fully charged up, you can fully heal, and everything. Let's do some trading with it. Okay, so we want to sell our cap, we want to sell our club, our short bow, throwing knives, our bolts, our sash, and probably our hatchet. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking. Tim, why in the world are you giving these items to Akara? And if you are saying that, you guys have played this game before. Now, I'm just doing this because it's going to be really quick. But yes, there is a character that I'm probably going to be going to in just a second to repair a helmet, where she will give you more items for weapons and armor pieces. And her name is Charcy. So, let's go talk to Charcy. But before we even do that, let's buy a Tome of Town Portal and a Tome of Identity. And these are items you can buy pretty close to the beginning of the game. You obviously have to gather up some gold for it. But they're very nice in the fact that they hold your scrolls, which means they're not, lining your pockets. So let's buy one of those. And one of those. And while we're at it, awesome. So our charm now is identified, which gives us a plus 14 to maximum stamina. That's not bad. And these effects will always stack. So it's good to keep some charms in your inventory to help boost your stats, but there will come to a point where you just have too many. And I've dealt with this problem many times. It gets a little ridiculous with how many you get. But let's move on. Let's talk to Charcy really quick so that we can repair.
Hi there, I'm Charcy, the blacksmith here in camp. It's good to see some strong adventurers around here.
Thank you very much.
Who fought bravely against Diablo when they first attacked the town of Tristram. They came back to us true veterans, bearing some really powerful items. Seems like their victory was short-lived though. Most of them are now corrupted by Diablo.
Well, that doesn't really bode well. So let's just press the repair all. It's pretty cheap right now. We don't have many items to repair. And while we're here, we can also put all of our gold in our private stash as well. Just deposit it, be done with it, not bother with it. Here's another nice thing. Whenever you're talking to a particular character, if you're selling items, they'll always go into your pockets. If you are purchasing items, it can pull directly from your private stash, which means you can deposit as much as you want and have nothing on you. And you can just collect more and more gold. Your gold, pretty much, that you can gather is, obviously your gold max you can hold in your stash is only this much. You can practically hold infinite. And if you guys know the maximum gold amount, please tell me in the comments. I'd love to actually hear it. Let's gather up that quilted armor. Mosey on around. Always try to pick up items you may have missed. Oh, yeah. And I just love that skull shoulder pad. That is an amazing design right there. Before you guys yell at me, let's identify this. Quilted armor of thorns. Attacker takes damage of 1. Oh, it's socketed. Okay, let's switch it out just for right now. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about socketed items once we get gems. Because at this point, we don't have any, and it's not much use talking about it if we don't have anything to put into these sockets. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that later. I'm going to get you and destroy everything you love. Oh yeah. First mission's not very big, so it's not going to take us very long. Ooh, yellow item. Yellow item. Oh, we only have 5 monsters remaining. Like I said, not going to take very long. Now, you had seen me talk about a yellow item earlier. Yes. These are specialty items that are randomly generated throughout the game. They are extremely powerful, especially for, beginning levels. So, they're going to be extremely useful. So, as soon as I find the Scroll of Identity, or as soon as, it basically comes to the point of, hey, I get Deckard Cain, which I'm going to get a Scroll of Identity before I ever get Deckard Cain. So, this is going to be identified probably within a little while. Oh, Scroll Town Portal. But where did I miss some? Oh, here they are. Oh, oh.
Is that enough to earn the rogue's trust?
Let's certainly hope so. No, I'm not going to use the Scroll of Town Portal to get out of here because the door's right there, and the town's right there. So, no use for it.
Close the den of evil. You've earned my trust, and may yet restore my faith in humanity.
Thank you, Akara.
Skill of your choice.
Thank you very much. So, the last time I played this, I was given a recommendation by a friend to up my skeletons. So, we're going to up the skeletons again. We're going to get 3 skeletons now, therefore, we can have more and more of our friends tagging along with us. So, let's do that. We're going to trade. We're going to get a few more scrolls of identity. Actually, we'll only grab one. Blood Gnarl 1. Ooh, that is a lot of good stuff. Holy mother. +2 poison damage, +1 to raise skeleton, +2 to amplify damage, +1 to energy, +3 to mana, +1 to mana after each kill, +1 to light radius, repairs 1 durability and 33. What is this wand? This is amazing! The damage is not high, but oh my gosh, does it give so many good effects. This is definitely one we are going to be using. We're probably going to be using this one for a long time. Ooh. Ooh, that is awesome. That is so good. Now let's talk to Charcy. We can actually sell these for a little bit more at her place.
Good to see you.
Alright. We're going to sell that craft one to you, sell our regular one. Oh, our low quality cat. We actually have something that's better. Hold on, is that defense 5? Ooh, that is good. Oh, yes. It is either a 5 or a 6. Diablo has a weird numbering system where the 5s look like 6s. Don't ask me why, I do not know. We're going to equip that. Sell that. And sell that. Sell the short bow. Okay, before I sell this, I will talk to you guys about the quilted socket armor. Okay, so sockets are items, well, they're qualifications to a particular weapon or armor piece that allows you to add effects to it. Every single gem or jewel in the game has a different effect to it. So say if you have a red gem and you have it on, like, a weapon, it gives vampirism. If you have it on a piece of armor, it gives plus to your health. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through all of them right now. You guys will definitely see that later on. However, with this, you can socket multiples in here. And the highest I believe you can socket into a particular item is 6. So, socketed items are actually very useful, very nice. But they don't always start off very strong. So if you would like to keep your socketed items, I'm not going to keep this one right now because I do have something that is better for now. So I'm going to sell this one for right now, but if you guys like to keep your stuff, that's all up to you. Move these mana potions out of our belt, put the regular potions in there. Parallel of equipment. Put what's left over in our stash. Awesome. You always want to do at least a little bit of organization with your stuff because there are always going to be items that take up space. So I think that's a great time to stop. We'll go on our next mission in the next episode. So I will see you guys there. Bye-bye! Hey guys, it's Tim Grimm here, and just wanted to thank you guys for watching today's episode. If you liked the video, please press the like button or share it with your friends. And if you want to get more notifications, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe. Thank you very much, and see you guys in the next video. Bye!